Hello, church family. Happy Sabbath. My name is Shamika King, and I was asked to give some tips on how to complete this school year successfully because of our current situation. So I'm here to provide 5 tips on things that may be helpful or beneficial in order for your child to finish the school year successfully. So I'll go ahead and start with tip number 1. And my first tip is to make sure that you have come up with a schedule for your child to follow. Now, if they were in school, they would actually be following a schedule. Okay, so I think Monday through Friday, while e-learning or distance learning is taking place, I think it's very important that your child is following a schedule. Let's see. I do have a sample schedule that I give my parents, and also have a schedule that Cameron follows that will provide a somewhat of normalcy or consistency or structure for your child throughout the week. So following the schedule is my number 1 tip for finishing this year successfully. All right, so for tip number 2, I suggest that you make sure that you know what's going on in your child's classes. Make sure you're informed, make sure they know what's going on, and to provide some form of list of a to-do list or a checklist, kind of similar to what I have here. And in that list, make sure, or in that to-do list, make sure you have all the activities that's due for like Monday, all the activities that's due for Tuesday, and so forth, and all the subjects that your child has to complete. So that's my second tip that I would offer in order for your child to finish the school year successfully. Tip number 3, make sure that your child is getting some form of outside time. They're riding their bike, going for a walk, playing in the front yard, backyard, what have you. Make sure that they're getting some time outside. And then my this is my fourth. My fourth tip is to try to make sure that your child stays at home. I know sometimes parents have to go out to the grocery store to buy things that are essential, and there are some parents that are considered essential workers. But if all possible, make sure that your child stays at home. And I say this because I teach, okay? And I know kids are just not conscious about keeping their hands clean, touching things. So if all possible, make sure that they stay at home, and let's all make sure that we keep our hands washed. So for tip number 5, my last tip is kind of not a tip that will help them finish school successfully, but it may help them mentally. And that is to make sure that you talk to your child about what's going on in our world today. I know sometimes we think that keeping things from our children, especially if it's something scary or something that may instill fear, that we keep it away from them and not discuss or talk to them about these things. But I feel it's very important that you discuss what's going on in the world, and to to check in and see how they're feeling. All right, those 5 tips that I have for you in order for your child to finish this school year successfully. At the end of this video, I will show you, give you a closer example of the schedule, the checklist, and I also provide you with a resource that may help in order to discuss the pandemic and what's going on in our world with your child. Or another thing that I recommended is that you talk to your child about the pandemic, and to openly discuss what's going on in our world. This is a resource that is free that I will be more than happy to share with you. So I will provide my email address or phone number if you are willing, or if you want this resource. It's actually free on Teacher Pay Teacher if you're familiar with that website. So you can look at all of the slides, or discuss them with your child. Just good information for them to know, so that they understand what a pandemic is, and so that they understand what the coronavirus is all about and how to keep safe from it. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, church fam. Y'all have a happy Sabbath.